Hey guys, welcome back to Heart of Trespia, and we're starting in on episode 3. Quick update, we, I am finishing replaying season 2, is that loud? It's kind of a little loud, it's fine. I'm finishing up replaying season 2 of, Dracula: A Love Story, and, so I can play season 3, episode 1. And Arcanum, I'm going to finish that up through season 2, episode 1 as well, because I'm super curious about what's going on there. However, also, Heart of Trespia was requested, so I figured I'd just progress it just a little bit and hopefully play Dracula Love Story and Arcanum this weekend, as well as a little bit more of this. And I believe someone also mentioned catching up on Legend of the Willow. So, I'm less tired today, but I'm still a little tired. As you can see, I'm just like bare minimum. Yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and record. Also, if you see me looking sometime over here on the screen this way, it's because I'm logged into Final Fantasy 14, because the queue times right now with the new expansion are cuckoo bananas. Actual cuckoo bananas, and I refuse to be logged out. So I will be moving my character every so often so I don't get logged out. But here we are. Chapter 3, Desperate Times Call for Desperate Measures. Alright, let's play. As soon as I change that sound, because it's a little loud in my ear, and I was playing something else. Okay, right. Earl Reinhold, yeah. That was hilarious, because someone was like, I was writing their name down as if it was a death note. It's true, I have it right here. It says, Cyril, kill him. Earl Reinhold, kill him too. So, there we are. Your defiance toward Earl Reinhold drew not only furious glances from the goons, but also their sharp blades. Confronting the Earl like that might not have been the best idea, but these are my people. I ought to protect them. Melody, please, don't get involved. Don't worry, I'll reason with him, Haba. I don't know about reasoning with him, but you got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, lady. Do you even know who I am? Clearly, you don't know who I am. Your identity holds no meaning to me. All I see is the wicked ruffian abusing his power against the weak. Hey, show some respect when you address his lordship, you bandit witch. Respect is earned, not given. Ooh, call me once again and you'll lose that vile tongue of yours. Ignore him. Yeah, respect is earned, not given. Oh, I'll get that respect out of you, alright. What the fuck does that mean? Why do they call him Goon now as if we don't know his name is Cyril? Oh, I got influence. I refuse to allow pain or fear to alter my perspective. Huh. But I'm going to put those words to the test. The well-dressed lout raised his accent to an intimidating stance. I bet a scar or two on that pretty face will teach you some manners. The crowd started to roar. The villagers around you voiced their fears while the Earl's men cheered for their leader. Cyril. The Earl's words fell on deaf ears amidst all the chaos. The goon swung his broadaxe at you in a mocking manner. You hopped back and bumped your hips against Hobble's stall. There was no room for retreat. Need something to hit him with and quick. Uh-oh. You reached for the egg rolling pin flower. Rolling pin. The goon let out a throaty laugh, however, briefly before you smacked his face with the rolling pin. A loud and clear pop, a wave of shocked gas, and then pin drop silence. You humiliated the goon! He deserved that. I'm sorry. He did. Spitting a broken tooth out, the ashamed goon swung his enormous axe frantically at you. Aurora! Blue dazzling lights beamed before your eyes. You managed to catch a glimpse of Aurora swooping down before her brightness temporarily stole your vision. What the? Something cold and heavy found your palm. Curiosity forced your squinted eyes open. You saw Aurora standing in front of you and the broad axe in your grasp. Did she disarm him? Sprite Eagle. Did you do this, Aurora? Aurora bumped your hand with her forehead affectionately. Can you drive these bad people away from here, Aurora? Positioning herself in front of you, the giant Sprite Eagle spread her wings, growling ferociously at Earl Reinhold. My lord. With a sharp roar, Aurora charged, though without a weapon. The goon dashed forward in an attempt to shield his aura with his body. Alas, the Sprite Eagle's assault only lasted a moment until her wound burst open again and the pain brought her down to the ground. Oh, poor thing. Retreat. Aurora! You carefully inspected Aurora's wound. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you to attack when you're so injured. Melody! Behind you! Without thinking, you lurched sideways. The stiletto missed your arm, just barely. The opportunity-seizing goon attempted another attack, but stopped when he saw the rapidly approaching Wyatt and Gisela, each with a weapon in their hand. Are you alright, Melody? I'm fine, I think. Trying to strike down an unarmed lady half your size? That's just low and pathetic. I wasn't even looking at you. Because you humiliated? Really? You are a piece of shit. You? What? Have we met? Return my purse at once, you thieving maggot. You remember me? Even when you were that drunk? Impressive. Unfortunately for you, I don't forget faces easily, especially not yours. I'll take that as a compliment, big man. Don't flatter yourself, Bandit. I'm really good at remembering all the faces I want dead. Well, that's funny you should mention. I am too. Tis tis. The day is still young. I'm certain I can change your mind. Wanna bet? Gisela blew a kiss at the broad ex-wielder, who widened his eyes in bewilderment. Well, he was a broad ex-wielder. I don't know if you got it back. Why is Gisela so casually flirting with the enemy? Capture them now, Cyril. She's stalling. There must be more of them nearby. Oh, Gisela was counting on people to find us if we stayed here long enough. The goon waved at his subordinates. Bind them. Be careful with the braided one. She's slippery. The Earl's men closed in on the three of you. You felt Wyatt clench his arm, gripping his sword, but even the most skillful swordsman in Trespia could not parry a dozen swords with a single blade. Maybe I should tell the Earl I'm the queen? That may stop him, but would he believe me? Suddenly a weak cough sounded from behind, and you felt a warm splash. Reaching around your neck, you saw blood on your fingertips. My lord. The frail elderly man wobbled in front of you, coughing. No, don't move. Your ribs must be fractured. I'm sorry to have dragged you into this, Melody. The breadmaker turned around, his hunchback going up and down before you as he panted weakly. This kind-hearted young people, they didn't mean to offend you. Please have mercy on them. I will not be disrespected in any manner, and you all will pay me what you owe. What the fuck can they possibly owe you? You're nothing like your father. Hobble's words, whatever they imply, left the Earl speechless. Tension filled the distance between Hobble and the shocked henchman. Then the wounded breadmaker began coughing again, blood splattered all over the ground before him. You grabbed the wheezing breadmaker and laid him down on top of a bag of flour before unbuttoning his ragged tunic. Don't worry about me, Melody. Take your friends and run. Go back to Katie. Katie is safe, Hobbo. I won't let anyone lay a finger on her. Stay still, Hobbo. I need to rely on your broken ribs first. Carefully tracing your fingers on his chest, you located all the fractures and began shifting them back into the right places. Take them all. Wait. The astonishment in his tone drew your eyes toward his in a brief exchange before you returned your attention to Hobbo. Dude, don't. Nah. You're not gonna get me. You're not gonna get me. He's probably, with how good looking he is, he's probably an LI. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. You stood around and watched while he just beat this random old man who was a couple of cents, like, low, and pretend like these people owe you something? What do they owe you? Like, I'm gonna need more information on that. Until then, nah. Nah, dude. Nah. You ain't got me. You ain't got me. Sometimes I can be okay with hating someone and then kind of going with them, but, like, okay, I'm thinking specifically of, like, Noe, right? From Dracula Love Story. So far, I think he's the only person that, besides, like, maybe John of Shadow Saint 4, who did, like, evil things. But I could kind of look past them. Oh, Melbont, maybe. Yeah. But I had a lot more context there, so I'm going to need some serious context that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, he gonna stay on my death note. I'm just saying. I need to focus, otherwise Hobble's broken bones will be deformed after they heal. Oh. Hold up. Gotta update my thing. Not getting logged out. Okay. You took out a variety of ground herbs from your pouch and began mixing them into an ointment. Just one last step. With the towel, you cleaned off the blood on Havo and secured his wounded chest with your abundant supply of bandages. Checking on him, Alice. Alright, your bones will heal, but you need to move as little as you can for a few weeks. Thank you, Melody. You're a true blessing from the ancestors. I'm just a healer being a healer, Havo. You placed a few vials of premixed medicine into his palm. These remedies will help the pain while you heal. It wasn't until you started wiping the blood off your hands that you realized all eyes were on you. The Earl's imperscrutable gaze was particularly fascinated. He didn't stop me when I was helping Havo. Perhaps there is still a bit of kindness left in him. Path of Higher Rep. Your healing skills are remarkable. Thank you. I'd like to invite you and your friends to Peel Manor. There are some questions I'd like to ask you. He says invite as if we have a choice. And what if we refuse? Earl Reinhold shot a meaningful look toward the armed man around you. Exactly. Invite. Shut the fuck up, dude. You could have just said you're coming with me, because we didn't have no choice. It'll be an ill-considered decision on your end. That wasn't really much of a question. You're trying to take us prisoners and interrogate us. That's one way to put it. You all did offend me and attack my men. I'm afraid that warrants punishment. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. We're heavily outnumbered and Giselle's people are still nowhere to be seen. Sending Aurora is not an option either. Her wound is too deep. Giselle warned me. I'm the one who got us all into the situation. She shouldn't be punished for my recklessness. Turning around, you met Earl Reinhold's curious gaze. He said he had questions for me. If I comply, perhaps I'll be rewarded with some answers of my own. I was the one who offended you. Take me, but let my friends go. You would just submit yourself to me, just like that? Depending on which way you mean that. I don't simply surrender. But I do anything for my friends, but I'm willing to compromise. Ooh. So I'm guessing it's between, I forgot what the two traits were, but one is like super compassion, I think, and the other one is more like, it's not stoic, I can't remember. I can't remember how many points I have, and I think I'm pretty sweet. But with this guy, I want to be a little firm. I wonder if you can balance him. I don't remember. I'm going this one. Rationality. Fair enough. Though it's less a compromise than an act of mercy granted by me. Do I have your word that you won't hurt my friends or the villagers here? I do what I must to fulfill my role as the monarch of Coral Ridge. But as long as taxes are paid in full and your friends behave themselves, then you have my word. Probably as good as I can get. We're not really in a place to bargain for more. Furthermore, this may be the only way for me to find out why he's collecting so many silvers. Very well. I'll come with you. No, Melody, I'm not letting you do this. My fellows will be here soon. We just need to... It's alright. I'll be fine. Melody, if you're determined to do this, at least let me come with you. Why took your hand into his? If the worst is to happen, we will face it together. You have a good relationship with Wyatt. Wyatt? I'll always be with you, Melody. His reassuring smile dissipated some of your shrouded fear. I suppose you won't object to the idea of taking another prisoner? You're oddly relaxed about your situation. I guess I'm just an eternal optimist. Very well. Cyril, give them 2 horses and prepare my carriage. We're heading back. Yes, my lord. Taking Cyril's reins in your hand, you glanced at Aurora. The sprite eagle let out a sorrowful whine as if she understood the situation. Don't worry. I will come back for you. Can you take care of Aurora for me until I return, Gisela? Assuming she won't chew my arm off, I'll try my best. Gisela leaned forward and whispered into your ears. Once I figure out a way, I'll come find you and get you out of that shithole. You wanted to say something in response, but Cyril yanked the reins in your hand impatiently. You gotta move on. I haven't got all day. Yeah, you do. You ain't doing nothing but picking on people who are weaker than you. Bitch. I can't. I'm so mad. I get so mad. Let me just move that again. Okay. Reluctantly, you mounted on the steed and gave Gisela one last look. Thank you for everything, Giselle. Take care. The swift steed carried the echoes of your last words down the village path. Pretty flowers. With Earl Reinhold's carriage at the front, Sarah and his subordinates riding closely behind, you were escorted to a gated mansion. The afternoon sun was strong. Catching a breath, you lifted an arm and brushed a dirty sweat off of your forehead. Soon, 2 guards came, opened the gate, giving you curious stares as you passed through. Orders, my lord? The curtains of the carriage lifted up, revealing the Earl's immaculately clean appearance. It was not to sit inside a carriage while we all had to eat his dust. Take them upstairs so they can choose their quarters. Upstairs? Do you have an objection, Sarah? Of course not, my lord. Good. When you're done with their living arrangements, have the cook prepare a bigger lunch for our guest. Instead of throwing us down the dungeon, the Earl is treating us like his guest. Is there something he wants from me? The Earl narrowed his eyes with slight annoyance when he saw your dusty attire. Fetch some proper attire as well. I want them all cleaned up before stepping foot in the dining hall. What's he up to? The carriage proceeded around a corner, seemingly engulfed in bushes of beautiful multicolored flowers that covered the manor grounds. As a healer, I know almost all the plants in the world, but I've never seen these blossoms before. Where did the Earl get them? A whisk of wind breezed through, gracing you with the mysterious blossom and sweet floral aroma. Such a unique scent. Deliza would have loved to smell them. I wonder how she's doing back at the castle. She must be so worried about me. Hey, you two heard his lordship. Get moving. You just maxed I humiliated you. So many flowers. Unexpected. It's a nice pop of color because everything else is kind of cold. It's beautiful, but it's cold. Cyril led you in white up the spiral staircase. Each tap your feet made on the marble steps resonated through the well-decorated parlor. This manor is much smaller than my castle, but the artistry of its design is no less opulent. This place is marvelous. Of course it is. This belongs to the Earl of Coral Ridge, the biggest Trespian province out of 8. Okay, dude. His lordship is the most powerful nobleman in Trespia, only second to Duke Osmond, who, by the way, is also close with his lordship. The mere mention... Why is he bragging so hard? The mere mention of your uncle's name and his association with Earl Reinhold had you exchanging a meaningful glance with Wyatt. Yeah, if they're good friends, bruh, that's not helping his case. Just so you know. If I were you, I'd really think twice before disrespecting his lordship again. His mercy is not to be taken for granted. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see the look on his face. I cannot wait. I appreciate his kind gesture. I reckon there's something he wants from me. Perhaps, but doesn't it mean he needs to treat you well for you to talk? As a matter of fact, I'm quite the expert when it comes to interrogation. Yeah, okay, now you're boasting of torturing people. Yeah, that's something you boast of. Alright, reaching the upper floor of the manor, the 3 of you almost bumped into an old maid who was dusting the handrail. Hilde, how many times do I have to tell you? Stop cleaning. Leave these tedious tasks to the servants. Oh, shush you. Mellow bones need their work out, alright? You know his lordship hates it when you tire yourself out like this. It's my choice. I don't like sitting around like a relic, collecting dust. The maid darted an interested look at you. Oh, such a beautiful girl. Would you look at those eyes? Thank you, ma'am. Just call me Hilde. Greetings, Hilde. Is Hilde? I don't know. Let me know. My name is Melody. It's a pleasure to meet you. Such manners. Aren't you just the sweetest thing? I like you. And who is this handsome man supposed to be? I'm Melody's bodyguard. Well met. Syl groaned impatiently. These 2 guests need to be bathed and get changed, Hilde. Do you know where the spare servant clothing is kept? Oh, don't be absurd. I'm not going to give them rags to wear. Fine. Just Please just get them settled and quick lunch will be served. And quick. Lunch will be served soon. Sorry. With that, Cyril grunted in frustration and hurried to the larder where he was tasked to inform the cook. You dolls go ahead and pick your quarters. I'll go fetch you something nice to wear while you bathe. The old maid disappeared into the hallway with steps that were almost too giddy for her age. Wyatt took the lead and carefully inspected each quarter for potential hidden dangers. They are all safe. No traps or anything. Even the windows are not bound, but it's rather unlikely for us to survive the jump. I guess that's why the Earl sent us to the upper floor. Regardless, we need to strategize an escape plan and find a way back to the castle. We'll return as soon as I get my answers. There are just so many things I need to ask Earl Reinhold. And Wyatt, I'm scared. Why? What's wrong? It's just, the more I learn about Uncle Osmond, the more I feel the truth that I'm uncovering. He raised me, taught me everything. He's the kindest man there is. I'm sorry, Melody. There must be an explanation. Perhaps we can return to the castle so we can talk to him directly? Yeah, nah. He's been lying to me this entire time, still trying to hide stuff to me, even when I asked him straight to his face. You ponder over the tempting thought. No. If Uncle wanted me to know what's been happening within the kingdom, he would have told me when I asked. No more half-truths, no more deception, no more manipulation. For my people's sake, I won't return to the castle until I see this through. Then I'll be with you all the way, Melody. There's, like, good things and bad things about that. Like, obviously we need a story journey, but at the same time, if he, like, declares that I'm dead or something like that, then he can rule with no limitations. You know, because I doubt there's anyone left in my line besides him. So I don't think we should be away too long. Good, now let's get settled. I have a lot of questions for our host. I'll be at the quarter by the stairs. It's the only way up here. If anyone wants to hurt you, they'll have to go through me first. Always so protective. It's become a habit of mine. You playfully tap Wyatt's shoulder and proceed to pick your living quarter. Okay. A little hot bath. Ooh, I like the pillows. Ah. Yep. Looks like my room. Oh, look how cute that is. This bedchamber almost makes me feel at home. The bedchamber was kept exceptionally clean. You ran your finger along the window frame and there was no dust at all. The Earl's heart may not be pure, but he certainly has a sense of cleanliness. You made your way around the divider and found a wooden tub already filled with chilly water. No warm rose water or any chambermaids attending to my bath, but this will have to do. Relieving yourself of the bandit armor, you dip yourself in the refreshing water, allowing it to wash away the soreness of rough traveling. Ah, there you are. Here, try these dresses on. They should fit you. Thank you, Hilde. Let's go fancy. Yeah. Perfect. The kind old lady took a strand of your hair between her fingers, fiddling with her thumb. We'll have to do something with this beautiful hair. Well, this is just stunning. Look at her. I like that hair. Sad that I can't be a redhead, but it's okay. Well, technically you can, because you can decide to keep your own hair, which your current hair, which I approve of so very much, because I hate that they just like kind of force you to change it. Did I just sell something? I totally did. Anyway, sorry. Gentle fingers brushed your neck whilst your hair was being gathered, and an unfamiliar warmth flew through you somehow. Yeah, your hair is being gathered, also colored, but you know. Even though the circumstances that brought you here were less than pleasant, you found yourself at peace. If my mother was still with me, would she be doing my hair like this too? What are you smiling at, young lady? Nothing. Are you a relative of the Earl, Hilde? Me? No. I am but an old maid who has served the PL since before Reinhold was even born. Look at him all grown up and powerful now. Oh, how time has flown. Hilde reached for the crystal mirror and turned it your way. All done. Look how pretty you are. Where's the spouse servant clothing kept? Pfft, Cyril's such a load of horse crap. That vulgar boy doesn't know how to treat a lady properly. In all honesty, why and I are here as prisoners. I must expect to see the dungeon walls, not this. Renner is a stubborn one with a strange temper, but well, he can't help himself sometimes. Even as a maid, Hilde gets to address the Earl by his first name. I wonder why. Is there something wrong with Earl? Hilde seemed a little taken aback by your genuine concern. I've said more than I should. Forgive me, Melody. He's been with Earl since he was born. If I can just get some answers. You wanted to ask Hilde about the Reinhold and the Peels. Peels? I don't know. His seemingly absent family, but the old maid had already retreated to the doorway. Interesting dynamic. Go on. If there's one thing I know about Reinhold, he doesn't like waiting. After Hilde strolled, I know, because he wouldn't let that man pay him like a couple cents in an hour. After Hilde strolled down the hallway, you headed toward Wyatt's room. The Queen's guard heard your footsteps and opened the door. Melody. Wyatt, did they not give you a change of clothes? They did, but as a Queen's guard, I refuse to be dressed like a doll as the Earl wishes. I don't intend to be separated from my sword either. Wyatt, I promise to comply. Please don't make me wear that silk tunic, Melody. You entered his chamber and lifted the soft, smooth fabric laying flat on his bed. It doesn't look too bad. Quite a reminder of the first time I met you, actually. Were you wearing a silk tunic just like this? There's absolutely no way for you to remember that. You were way too young. I have a good memory, Wyatt. I remember every detail. Is that so? If I prove it, you're putting this attire on. No promises. It was so long ago, but I still remember. Sure. It was almost 15 years ago. I was weeding a bush of siren bloom I planted from the seeds that Uncle Ozma gave me. Oh, how much longer do I have to wait until they bloom, Uncle? It's been weeks. Patience, Melody. Only with patience will you be rewarded with good fruits worth reaping. The afternoon sun was rather hot. Forgetting about the dirt on my arm, I wiped the dripping sweat off my forehead. You've got mud all over your face now, silly girl. Here. I stood there giggling as Uncle Ozma took out a handkerchief and began cleaning my dirty face. Now this is the garden where... Oh, your highnesses. And a knightly-looking man with a young boy came forward. The armored man knelt down before us, but the boy was just staring at me curiously. Who is this pretty girl, Father? Why are her eyes different color? Oh, he is so cute! Wyatt, kneel down before their royal highnesses. Young Wyatt obeyed the order immediately. Please rise. Thank you, your highness. Who are they, Uncle? This is Gillett, captain of the royal guards. Your highness, it is an honor to finally meet you. Your armor is so shiny. Thank you, your highness. Uncle Ozma gestured at Wyatt. This tall little man is Wyatt. He's going to be your queen's guard when you come of age. What is a queen's guard, Uncle? A queen's guard is your devoted guardian, your most faithful companion. I swore an oath to protect you with my life, your highness. I will strike down all your enemies and shield you from danger. Enemies? What enemies? Well, you don't have any enemies inside the castle, but the world outside can be dangerous. But with Wyatt, you will never be hurt. He will ward off all attacks against you and keep you safe from harm. But wouldn't he be hurt too? I don't want him to be in pain because of me. Well, he won't be hurt if you stay within the castle walls. I'm also training Wyatt to be a worthy warrior, your highness. I give you my word that my son won't easily be hurt. Really? Will you teach me how to fight too? I can teach you. Father taught me how to use a lot of weapons. Don't be foolish, you children. Melody, you're a princess, future queen of Trespia. You're not supposed to go and fight enemies by yourself. The royal guards and my son as your queen's guard will protect you with their lives, your highness. Then I should learn to be a good healer. I'm going to take all your hurt and pain away. She is so sweet. Oh my gosh. She is just the sweetest little thing. I love her. You kept your word and became a healer. Once I'm determined to do something, I'm unstoppable. That you are. That's why we're both out here, being held prisoners by the Earl of Corwich. Any regrets? Never. Oh. Well, now that I've proved my flawless memory, it's time for you to put that silk tunic on. Hey, I never agreed to that deal. It's not so bad. Better a silk tunic than prisoner rags. At least with the prisoner rags, I get to keep my dignity. Why in his unmovable warrior pride? Undo the buckles of his armor. You shot your queen's guard a mischievous grin and unbuckled the first armor strap below his neck. What are you doing? You forced my hand. Now let's get you changed. Melody. Don't move. Queen's order. Moving on to the next strap, your memories brought you back to the time when you were both younger. Do you still remember that old training armor that I always had to help you out of? Yes, I was happy to grow out of it finally. Chuckling, you went on to unfasten the last buckle the same way you did it when you were young, except that your queen's guard was no longer the skinny young boy. His broad chest tensed beneath your touch when you parted his armor. What lay underneath the thick leather was a body that endured years of training, combat skills he had spent days and nights mastering just to protect you. The very thought of that brought a blush to your cheeks and drew your curious gaze toward the towering queen's guard, who was also burning with sheepishness. Wyatt. Yes, Melody? Feeling the heat on your face spreading to your throbbing ears, you looked away and handed Wyatt the silk tunic. We should hurry. Old Reinhold awaits us. Alright, but as soon as I'm out of this place, I'm ripping this thing to shreds. Fine, do as you wish after I get my answers from the Earl. At any rate, we better go. I'm smelling stew. Earl must be waiting. Of course, lead the way. It's so dark. The dining hall was just past the parlor. The Earl was sitting at the end of the long table, scribbling something on a leather-covered journal. Seat our guest. Servants immediately moved from their positions. 2 chairs were pulled out for you and Wyatt. Then, luscious food was served before you. Some chicken stuffs. Moments have passed since you were seated. The Earl kept his eyes on the open journal as if he was the only soul in the world, much less the room. Should I say something? The impudence had to focus Earl Reinhold, jerking his head up in displeasure. Ah. Do I care? Do I care enough to restart? That's kind of obnoxious. I do want answers. Alright, we're finally back. I'll remain silent. A peaceful quietness surrounded the dining hall. You remained on your soft-cushioned chair, contemplating the questions you would soon exchange with the man sitting across from you. He's frowning. Whatever he is reading must be troubling him. Eventually, the Earl closed the journal, and you could sense a hint of admiration in his stoic eyes as he finally decided to acknowledge your presence. Yes, you patiently waited, even though I myself hate waiting. You're absolutely stunning in that dress. Thank you. I see Hilda has taken quite a liking to you. I appreciate your kindness and hospitality. What about me? Are you grateful to me as well? Is that what you want from me? It's what I expect from you. I'm treating you with respect and putting food on your table, am I not? You wouldn't have to if you hadn't stolen me. And exactly how many peasants have you beaten up in order to collect this mill's worth of silvers? The Earl of Coral Ridge is not an answer to a lowly peasant, you... That's quite all right, Cyril. I suppose our guest and I have a misunderstanding. Is that what you call extreme brutality toward the helpless? A misunderstanding? I'm merely a servant of Her Majesty. Duties are bestowed upon me, and I perform them without question. Are you saying my uncle told me to told you to do this? Are you implying it's the Queen herself who gave you the order to extort her own people? Not directly, of course. Our tasks have long existed before Her Majesty's crowning. It still doesn't change the purpose of what I'm doing, collecting taxes from citizens of Coral Ridge. For 6 times the amount that's required by law. These are desperate times. I do what I must as the Earl of Coral Ridge. Can you stop? You can just call yourself the Earl. I'm tired of mentioning Coral Ridge. Any knowledge beyond that is not for a person of your stature to question. Wyatt's chair began creaking from his pent-up rage. He tapped on the Queensguard's tensed arm on the table and whispered, "Not now, Wyatt. We'll get our chance to punish him, eventually. At any rate, before I explain why you're here, I believe a proper introduction is still in order. As you know, I'm Reinhold Piel, Earl of Coral Ridge." Old Reinhold waved at Cyril, who humbly stepped forward. "This is Cyril, my most trusted aide. He leads my men and is second only to me. Great judge of character. Why don't you introduce yourselves? What's your name? Who is your faithful companion?" "My name is Melody. This is Wyatt. He's my friend. We grew up together." "I see." Earl Reinhold raised his wine glass at you. "Let's eat, shall we?" After taking a sip of wine, Earl Reinhold speared a piece of pre-cut chicken with his fork and began eating, not adding another word to the conversation. Wyatt whispered in your ear, "Best be careful with this food, Melody. It could be poisoned." Wyatt may be right. The Earl has no reason to treat us with this well. We're his prisoners. Eat the food or drink the water. I mean, if these are all my only choices, I might as well eat the food because they both could be poison, and it's more likely people poison your drinks. But there was no purpose of us bringing us all the way here just to immediately kill us. He would have killed us in public to make an example of us. So it doesn't make any sense for us to be poisoned. With your mind made, you stabbed your fork into the succulent meat. It was a perfect mix of tenderness and piquancy. I don't know. Enjoying your food? It's very tasty, thank you. Are you worried I'd poison you? We are alone in your manor. If you wish to bring us harm, I believe you would have done so without going through all this trouble. You have a keen wit, Miss Melody, and I appreciate your trust. I didn't say I trusted you. I'm saying it doesn't make logical sense. You waited patiently for Earl Reinhold to finish his lunch. The look he gave you while wiping his mouth was almost too inquisitive for comfort. Soon the servants cleared the table efficiently and poured out the dining hall, leaving only Cyril by his side. "So, Miss Melody, where did you acquire your advanced healing skills?" "I learned them from a variety of healing books in Trespia. That's what I meant." "Interesting. Did he believe me? So hard to tell with the way he talks. I have a proposal for you, Miss Melody. Something I believe to be beneficial to us all." "A proposal?" "Yes. I am in need of a skilled healer to make me a remedy." "A remedy? For what? Are you sick?" "No, but I've not been blessed with a good night's sleep in years." "Well, maybe you should stop beating up old people. You might sleep better." Yeah. Yeah, just a thought. That it might help a little bit. Just a little bit, I mean. But who am I to say? "Perhaps you can come up with a remedy for that." "You want a remedy for insomnia? Couldn't the other physicians perform such a simple task?" "Be that as it may, even the best ones have tried and failed." "Well, that sounds like a guilty conscience." "If you can help me, I'll guarantee you'll be paid handsomely." "And if I refuse your offer?" "Then you and your friend will be kept prisoner in Peel Manor." "He can't just keep us locked up in here." He can, if only because he doesn't know who we are. "I'm the Earl of Coral Ridge," as we've been told like 10 times now. "You are on my land." That should be a meme by now. I can do as I please. "It's all right, Wyatt." You stood up from the chair and looked straight into Earl Reinhold's eyes. "If I accept your offer, I want only one thing in return. No more extortion. The villagers have tried their best to pay your taxes. Stop sending your men to hurt them." "What if they cannot pay their due?" "Then you can cover it with whatever you're going to pay me. I don't need your silvers." "Fair enough. Do we have an agreement then, Miss Melody?" "As long as you keep your word." "Splendid. You're now officially guest of the Earl. You may leave the manor as you wish, so long as I get my sleep remedy every night." "Aren't you worried we would just leave and not come back?" "That would be most unwise. I'm sure you care about your friends who are hiding behind the curtain of hanging vines, no?" "Who, what? How do you know?" "I rule this land, Miss Melody. I know everything that happens here. Your bandit friends are only alive because I allowed them to be." "Is that a threat, my lord?" "It doesn't have to be. I only ask that you honor your word." "I never break promises. Never have, and never will." Good. Earl Reinhardt turned his gaze to Wyatt. Cyril, why don't you show Wyatt where the training ground is? An occasional spar with my men will do some good to ease his excess anger. Meanwhile, I'll be taking our healer for a walk to show her where everything is. Yes, my lord. Wyatt shot you a worried look. He put his mind at ease with a reassuring smile. Ignoring the silent remarks between you two, the Earl got up from his seat and gestured toward the doorway. Shall we, Miss Melody? Yes, please, my lord. He left the table and followed Earl Reinhold through the open door. Wasn't there like a fourth place setting? Who was eating there? Oh, Cyril. After a brief time, I completely forgot he existed. After a brief tour through the fancy hallways, the Earl led you into a huge pantry. Every shelf was abundantly stocked. You can find all kinds of ingredients, or herbs and whatnot here. Take them as you wish. If you need something that's not here, get them from the apothecary shops in the city. Tell them it's for the Earl. You'll get what you need and no one will question anything further. Don't I have to pay them? A favor for the Earl of Coral Ridge is not something measurable by silvers. They will be more than happy to spare a few herbs. I respectfully disagree. It's wrong of you to take advantage of them. You may not be entirely wrong, but I'm still going to pay them. Do I have money to pay them with? I just kind of feel like arguing with him, so I'm going to be like, yeah. They're not exactly helpless. Medicinal herbs are charged for a lot in Lunaris. Oh, that's right. Giselle mentioned that physicians have all gone to the capital to treat the richer people. I will change this as soon as I return to my throne. At any rate, you can use the table over there to mill the herbs. When you are done, use these crystal vials for the remedies. To avoid any complications, please do remember deliver the medicines to my bedchamber yourself. Do not send my servants. You trust me more than your own servants? I trust them just fine. I just don't trust their hidden motives. Who hurt you? Are you okay? Apparently not. You can't sleep. Maybe you can't sleep because you're convinced that everyone in this place is gonna kill you. You're here with a clear motive to keep your friends safe, and my servants can be here for any reason. Perhaps they're here for the silvers, perhaps they just want to associate themselves with my power. So the less I trust them, the less likely they can betray me. Who hurt you? His words made you ponder. You wanted to ask him why he was so skeptical about trusting people, but he had already made his way back to the door. Come, I'll show you my bedchamber. Various thoughts swarmed in your mind, but you swallowed your words and continued toward the manor with Earl Reinhold. The unique floral scent that piqued your interest earlier grew stronger. The Earl led you further into the manor until a carved wood door came into sight. The Earl's bedchamber is not much bigger than the other chambers in this manor. Pretty view, though. Sorry. Reinhold withdrew the journal he was writing on during lunch and put it inside his desk drawer. Maybe I can sneak in here. This is where you will be delivering my sleep remedies to, Miss Melody. Please put them on my desk after dinner. And while I'm delivering the remedies, I can take a quick peek at that journal. Your task will be considered fulfilled when I deem your medicine effective. Then, all I need will be your formula. Then I'll no longer have any obligation to remain here? Yes, you and your friend will be free to go. Good. Do you have any questions? I do, actually. For starters, what do you do with the textures you collect? I keep my legal share and have the rest delivered to the castle. Is that why you charge such a high amount, just to ensure you have a bigger share? Why are you so greedy, my lord? Why must people suffer this much just for your selfish desire? You speak only with your ignorance. It's such a shame. Path of compassion. Is there a reason for this? This is not all you're doing, is it? Please talk to me. Help me understand why you must act this way. Did Duke Osmond put you up to this? Or was it the consul? That's enough, Miss Melody. I will not discuss kingdom matters with you. You work for me, just do as I say, don't make me remind you again. If there's nothing else, I suggest you get to work. He's definitely hiding something. If he's not going to talk to me, I'll have to find another way. You exhaled a long-drawn sigh. The heavenly aroma once again drew your attention to the multicolored blossoms across the tall crystal windows. Those flowers outside. Pride flashed through his eyes. They're called Eviona blossoms. Eviona? Eviona? Would you like to take a closer look? I'd love to. The Earl opened the side door, immediately filling the room with a delightful fragrance. Excuse me. Here's rainbow flowers. He must just really love plants. Interesting quality. I still kind of want to murder him though, just a little bit. You made an eager step and drowned yourself in the sea of berry-colored flowers. Thousands of butterflies were fluttering about. The alluring sight and sweet aroma plunged you into a whole different world. This is magnificent. You knelt down and brushed your fingertips on smooth petals. Be careful. Reinhold lowered himself next to you, then, much to your surprise, took a hold of your wrist and pulled you off the flower bed. He pointed at the pale grass underneath the bushes. This grass is called wilmint, extremely toxic. Don't ever touch it. Wilmint? I've heard of it. It's a poisonous grass from Rajahili. Why would you keep such a lethal plant in your garden? I didn't. Many times I've tried to get rid of it, but it just keeps coming back. Interesting. It may have something to do with these flowers. You said they are called Eviona blossoms? Yes. My ancestors brought a seed from across the unresting sea a long time ago. They planted it behind the manor. And now these Eviona blossoms have become the pride of the Peels. Your ancestors are brave across the unresting sea and managed to return? That's amazing. His smile was as arming, as faint as it was. Here, take this. Reinhold picked the Eviona blossom you were admiring and offered it to you. Thank you. Overjoyed, you took the beautiful flower into your hand and sniffed the lovely scent with a wide, toothy grin. Amidst the flowery elation, you felt a finger brushing a lock of hair around your ear. I believe he just told me something along the lines of, shut up and do your job. Not really in the mood to have you touching me, so if you could not, sorry. Like, I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. I'm gonna need just a little bit more than that to be all, you know. I need more answers. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like, if you've been told that you have to collect your taxes, collect your taxes. You ain't gotta be mean about it. Like, that was your choice at that point. Like, sure, they told you that you had to collect these exorbitant taxes, but the biggest problem is that you do it with such cruelty. Like, it's completely unnecessary. And I don't know if that stems from his feeling that, he can't trust people around, people are out to betray him or whatever. Like, whatever happened in your personal life, that's your personal business. Like, don't take that out on the people that you're supposed to be, you know, ruling over. Like, these are your people. Treat them like that. Feeling a little offended, you lifted your arm and swiped his hand off your face. Your eyes judged him with sobriety. This is no way to treat a lady, my lord. A gold-painted rock is still a rock. Just a bandit, a lowly thug. And if I don't want him touching me, he says this shit, like, nah. Thanks for letting me know that I made the right choice. My affection for you is flattery. You should be more appreciative. Regardless of my stature, I deserve to be treated with respect. You can take my life, my body, even my friends, but you will never take my virtue. Leaves rustled behind you, breaking the tense silence. Is everything all right, my lord? The Earl spoke with an indifferent tone as if nothing had happened. All is well. Miss Melody was just leaving. Kindly see her out. Yes, my lord. Curiosity sent your eyes back to Earl Reinhold, but he had already turned his back on you, his arms crossed behind his back. This way, Miss Melody. Drawing on a side that only you could hear, you trailed behind Cyril with the Eviana blossom still in your hand. Much like this beautiful flower, what lies beneath the Earl's pride seems to be a stubborn, poisonous corruption that can never be removed. Yeah, it's like, as soon as he got his little feelings hurt, I wasn't interested. He's like, coming out with like poisonous attacks. Like, good lord. Seriously? That don't make no sense. She looks very pretty. Coming to the backyard, the manor's training ground hovered into view. In the distance, you saw Wyatt, who had already changed back into his leather armor, taking his frustration out on the target dummy. I'll just take my leave here, Cyril. You made your way toward the Queen's Guard, but a firm grip on your arm halted your step. Not so fast, young lady. Let go of me, Cyril. The Earl's attendant chuckled and released your arm. I've seen what happened back there. Quite a little seductress, aren't you? If you've seen and then heard what happened, then how am I the seductress? Like, dude, if you want him, then do something about it. Don't get me involved in your bullshit. Like, seriously? On top of being pathetic, you're pathetically jealous on top of that? Like, seriously? What an idiot. This dude gotta go. He has got to go. Are you kidding me? A word of advice. You're not worthy of being anything more than the Earl's bed warmer, not even with that pretty face. Cannot wait to see his face. I cannot wait. Seriously, mind your fucking business, bitch. Jeez. I don't know. Woo! What you saw in the garden, I didn't ask for it, nor did I intend it to be so. I'm here as a healer, and that's all I'm gonna be. Pretty sure you might respect you more. I don't care if he respects me. He's a bitch. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not in the mood. Good. His lordship already has 1,000 things to worry about on a daily basis. I appreciate if you had not become one of them. Last time I checked, he brought me here and forced me to stay. It's like, are you just like blatantly ignoring facts out of what? Because he's not paying attention to you? Do you need him to pat your head? I have no desire to be. I have a purpose here. It's done. I'll go on my merry way. Oh, when you no longer serve a purpose here, I'll escort you out of here myself. And you can crawl back to whatever stinky slum you came from. That would be the palace. Cannot wait. Well, my slum happens to be a lot bigger than this manor. If you show more consideration towards others, maybe I'll invite you there one day. Cyril guffed loudly at the absurdity of your words, clearly not grasping the meaning behind them. Enjoy your evening, Miss Melody. You scoffed at Cyril's shifting shoulders. Even the way he spoke of true insolence. Only place you're going to be invited is to the palace dungeon for a beheading. Hearing your footsteps, the Queen's Guard paused his assault on the target dummy and turned around. Is everything alright, Melody? Everyone in this place is bitches and hoes except Hilde. She must be protected at all costs. Everybody here can go fuck off. Yes, they're all showed me around. You found out anything suspicious? Not yet. I tried to ask him about the taxes, but his lips are sealed. That vile man is just like a leech, exploiting people just because he can. He deserves no mercy. I think... he's annoying as hell. I do think there's more going on, though. I still think he's an asshole. I'm just saying, but... I can't think of any reasonable excuse to justify the way he treated Haba. No doubt, his methods were wrong, but maybe there's more to the story. The Earl knows a lot more than he's letting on, and I'm going to find out what he's doing. It will return with all the evidence of his wrongdoings. Justicar Vigor will give him a fair judgment. Without the Earl's unreasonable taxes, the people will be eased of such a huge burden, and Trespia will be healed. Not quite yet. There's a matter of the physicians overcharging and treating only those who can afford their services. And I'll need to find out why Zalian soldiers are taking over the rainforest. Redbark Forest belongs to Trespia. A simple law or two should fix the prices for all physicians in Trespia. I'll do it as soon as I return to the castle. As for the Zalian men, I can send word to Queen Magaris and ask her for some answers, but I cannot do it while I'm not here. So, one step at a time. We'll deal with the Earl first, then I have lots and lots of questions for Queen Magaris of Zale. I'm yours to command, Melody. Whatever you need. Your presence is all I need, Wyatt. Thank you for coming with me without question. I'll always be by your side. My eyes and mind are only for you and you alone. You locked hands with each other, fingers intertwined without a word exchanged. Oh. I'm the Queen of Trespia and he's my Queen's Guard. We're not allowed to be together and he knows it. That's not what I was told. No, I'm not going to think about that. We're out here together and alone. I should treasure every last moment of it. Something on your mind? I'm getting a picture. No, nothing of importance. You know you always blush when you're lying to me, right? And you never once call me out on my lies? I'm your Queen's Guard. Your lies are my truths. Somebody out here being smooth. You lifted his hand and planted a kiss on his knuckle. Don't worry. Most of my lies to you were harmless. Just most, not all. Now I must know which ones were more than harmless. My lips are sealed. Oh, I'll get it all of you all right. Wyatt tugged you forward and began tickling your neck. With a sharp squeal, you broke free and began running. The Queen's Guard chased closely behind you, laughing. The two of you continued to circle around the large training ground. You knew he could have caught you, but he chose not to. Eventually, you had to stop to take a breath. You're fast. You're faster. You just didn't grab me. Oh well, it's your loss. Now I get to keep my secrets. I don't need to know your secrets. I trust you. With all my heart. And I and you, Wyatt. There's no one else in the world I trust as much as you. At any rate, I talked to Gisela. The Earl knows where their hideout is somehow. Need to be warned. The Earl gave his word that he will leave them alone. You don't think he's going to honor it? I don't know. Something about Earl Reinhardt bothers me. I don't think I can trust him. He's not to be trusted, that's for sure. We should hurry. I need to return by nightfall to deliver the sleep remedy. Approaching the front gate with Earl Reinhold's horses, the door guards nodded at you and stepped inside, clearly aware of the latest development of events. Well, that was easy. The two of you followed the path you came from until the vine-obscured entryway came into sight. Wyatt took the lead and separated the vines for you to get through. Here. A choking cloud of smoke came rushing through the smell gap, bringing tears to your eyes and making you cough. What was that? Something's burning. Oh no, Gisela! Wait, it's too dangerous. Anxiety flooded your senses. You ignored the Queen's Guard and rushed to the black smoke with blurry eyes. To your horror, the abandoned keep was engulfed by violent flames. Fuming air charged you from inside and forced your eyes shut. Gisela? Gisela? Where are you? Taki, everyone, can you hear me? There was no response, only echoes of your desperate cries and loud crackling sounds of falling debris. No. We need to get out of here, Melody. The flames will swallow us if we linger. Not wanting to give up, you looked around, trying to find even the slightest sign of life amidst a sea of orange and streaks of rising smoke. In the distance, you saw a silhouette approaching. Gisela? Is that you? There was only ominous silence after your question. Not Gisela. The silhouette grew bigger and bigger until the shroud of black smoke could no longer conceal its true appearance. You? Fury consumed you like the surrounding flames. You drew the sword from Wyatt's sheath. You're gonna pay for this bastard. See, the easy thing to think is that he set fire to this place. However, the message about earning his respect later or whatever kind of leads me to believe that he wasn't the one who did this. He was either following us to keep an eye on us, or keeping an eye on what the bandits were doing to kind of keep Earl, what's his face, apprised of what they were doing, because he has to get the information from that somehow. And we cannot forget that the Zalian people have been in this rainforest wreaking havoc. And that these guys have kind of been fighting them in a sense. So it's also possible, the timing is bad. It looks bad, but it's also possible that they were the ones responsible, not Cyril. Because as much as I don't trust the Earl, I do feel like he is a person of his word for the most part. Because I feel like he's nasty and confident enough to be like, if he was going to do something nasty, he would just blatantly say that he was going to do that. And there was no reason for him to lie about it. He would just told me I had no choice in the matter. Either way. So I really don't think that they're responsible for this. That's my 2 cents. Anyway. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read that. The developments are very interesting. Okay, I need to focus on rationality next one. I kind of want to keep this super balanced. Got a nice amount of that. Got a good amount of assets. I don't know when that'll come into play, but it's interesting. Ooh, I didn't know that sword was bloody. Interesting. I guess I'll go ahead and end this part right here. Very interesting developments going on, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, go ahead and check the bell button, some love, subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye!